Titanzed here. As I alluded to in my Sonic Wizard review, I'm going to be doing a comparison video between MECH Planet's Hot Soldiers G1 style soundtrack and DX9 War and Pocket Sonic Wizard. Now, if anybody who's seen my Sonic Wizard review knows, I couldn't recommend this figure. From a few problems that is just systemic with DX9 and how they make their toys, to some choices that the ball joints are a little, too tight, and well, the thing's just too small for the price they're asking for. So I'll be getting into price points about all of the Hot Soldiers Soundwave figures that are available. While they're not available, unfortunately, in a Big Bad Toy Store, a tertiary look on TF Source has all three of the versions I have, plus a exclusive to their store clear translucent version, oh joy, available for purchase for various prices. But I will be going over the prices that I picked them up at BBTS at the time. And what I would recommend is the prices you should pick up these figures for. With that said, right now I actually have the more expensive version of Soundwave sitting in front of you, which I think is supposed to be based on his G1 toy. If I'm not mistaken, one's based on his animation model, and one's based on his G1 toy. Whichever one that is, I'm not sure. But who really cares? I wanted to support MECH Planet so they can create more figures. Now, with that said, obviously the main problem I have with Sonic Wizard is obvious to see. I think he's a little too small. At least as an offering for Legends scale toys. While I first tried to do this comparison video the first time, I actually realized something. Something kind of important, at least for anybody who likes doing toy photography. Put him off to the side. Get yourself, let me readjust the camera, Cybertron sideways, and just plant that figure right inside his arm. And I got this to do earlier. I got a picture of it, in fact. Just plant him right inside his arm, and oh my god, I can recreate one of my favorite scenes from Transformers Cybertron right here and now. I will admit, on review of just that, a little bit more worth it. Not gonna lie. It really is one of these. Watching Sideways hold Soundwave in his classic cassette form before he got upgraded to that stealth bomber in Cybertron, listening to music was awesome. So, I'm not gonna lie, kind of makes the toy a little bit more worth it. Just a little bit. Okay. Back to mercilessly bashing this figure repeatedly with a much better figure. Now, one thing I will give MECH Planet... nice transition, Ed. One thing I will give MECH Planet, DX9 a little bit more credit for, they did manage to cover up a rather annoying gap on the original version. Something else they've managed to do, I don't have his guns currently plugged into his back. With this version, you need the guns plugged back in there, or he can't really stand up. And the only other way to do it would be to unpeg his hands and kind of push them down a little bit to act as the brace. The reason is that all the parts that make up his arms and his backpack don't reach past down his, what essentially are his thighs in robot mode. So it makes him tip over. Now, something I think they did MECH Planet did much better than DX9 is they tried to keep some of Soundwave's bits that make him look a little bit more like a cassette player. Now, yeah, they do both have buttons, well, false buttons, they don't actually press, and they do have all of their buttons on the front. But yeah, I really do think it's just because of the way they designed it, because that's literally his foot for one of his legs sitting right there. I just think it takes away from some of the how the figure looks. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, quickly, I'm going to also compare their Laserbeaks. Since there's no Ravage from Hot Soldiers, and I didn't get a Rat Bat in my box, I'm not going to compare the Rat Bat figures either. If I do get a Rat Bat from DX9, or from them, they just mail it to me, I'll make an unlisted video and put it in the description down below, or wherever they put the description in the near, not so distant future with YouTube. But yeah, comparing these two. Now, if you remember my review of this guy, he terrifies me that I'm going to break him one day. This is where I have to give credit to MECH Planet. They made a very sturdy-looking Laserbeak. He's tiny as all get out and can easily be lost if you're not careful, but he's sturdy. While he's not as well painted as DX9's version, he's more sturdy in my opinion. He doesn't feel like he's going to break anytime soon, and I think this is something you definitely need to consider when picking up one of these figures. But yeah, with that out of the way, I'm going to quickly get into robot mode, and I'll be right back. And we're back, and wow, the size difference is just ridiculous in robot mode. Now, as I said in my review of Sonic Wizard, he is just a little bit too short, in my opinion. I mean, compared to Combiner Wars Bomb Shock here, that's not right, but, you know, put Bomb Shock next to this guy, and it's like, okay, that's a little bit more. That's right. That feels like the right size as compared to this. That feels, this feels much more proper than this. And that's my problem. Now, one of the other, a minor issue I've just now noticed while doing the review, and I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera. Focus. Yeah, just barely. It's not showing up, unfortunately. The missile pod for him is already showing stress marks on the figure. It's already showing stress marks of breaking. And doesn't seem the gun has anything yet, but yeah, I guess I gotta spend a couple of minutes and try shaving out the ends of the peg a little bit to see if I can't reduce some of the stress marks that's being created. But that's ridiculous. I've barely had this toy a day, and it's already starting to break in a way. But wow. Yeah, I've got to admit, the comparison is night and day for these two. I mean, just wow. Now, as I stated, I'm going over some prices for the MECH Planet toys. Now, Sonic Wizard. Right now, the only figure, I don't know if they're going to do a Sound Blaster version, is $35 or $36 on BigBadToyStore.com. Now, while it's supposed to come with 3 cassettes, I got a feeling that some people are going to say that my review is biased because I didn't get the Rat Bat. I know I'm going to hear that complaint in the comments. I still feel, even with the 3 cassettes, this just isn't worth it for that price point. I think it's far too expensive. If it was $25, I could justify it as being a Soundwave fanboy and wanting to get every version I can of him. But even this version I showed you earlier, which was $25 and came with just 2 cassettes of their not Wing Thing and not Squawk Hawk, still is a lot better than this. Now, this version last time I checked on BBTS before it disappeared was $15.99. On TF Source, it's $17.99. That is infinitely cheaper than this one, and I think a better figure. While he does have the better articulation between all the ball joints and hinges he has, I just think he's a much better figure overall. It really kind of irks me. Now, as I said, TF Source, as I think I said maybe in the Sonic Wizard review, I'm not sure now. I really should review the videos before I start doing new ones. Professionalism, Eddie. Professionalism. TF Source still has him, still has this version, the Sound Blaster version, and a clear translucent version of this mold with the Sound Blaster and regular Soundwave, this guy, only $17.99. This mold still only being $25.99. And I believe the clear translucent version being $29.99 on sale as the recording and hopefully posting of this video. Mech Planet's only offering is this guy at $35.99. I'm sorry, but I have to say I feel gypped. While I'm still a Soundwave fanboy and I still plan to keep this figure, if nothing else, my as you saw early in this video, most likely this figure will spend the rest of his life as my Sideways' Soundwave boombox on the shelf, which isn't a bad fate if you ask me. I just cannot recommend this for anybody but the most diehard of Soundwave fans who just need every version they can get their hands on for their Soundwave shrine. Other than that, I have to say it's a hard no for this one. Go find this version. I think it's infinitely better. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much this comparison review. I hope this helps anybody who's been considering purchasing one or both of these figures. Hopefully I won't bring any ire. Hopefully I won't get the ire of any of the DX9 fanboys to come down on me. I'm only giving my honest opinion here. So until next time, this is Titan Zed saying I'll see ya when I see ya.